Mega Party games for the GameCube. And in Versus, it's Rallisport Challenge 2 against Colin McRae Rally 4. Some of the games we look at on Reviews on the Run are intended for a mature audience. Please pay attention to each game's ESRB rating. Okay, right off the top, we're going to start with the Wild West. This is called Dead Man's Hand. It's from Atari. It's for the Xbox and also available on the PC. Now, what do you think of this one?
Well, they should have called this Dead Man's Game, because that's pretty much what you have to be to enjoy this pile. Well, let's start at the top. Let's talk about the amazingly slow and choppy frame rates. What about the character models? I mean, are these not some of the worst looking?
I like the ideas behind the characters, though. I thought they were very
And what was
humorous.
the dude's name? The main character?
I think it's El Tejan or something like that.
Elton John?
El Tejan.
Is that like the French version of Elton John?
I don't think so. I like the lead character, though. I think they did a good job with the character designs, but I agree with you. When you put them into the animations of the game, they all look kind of weird and distorted and freaky looking.
Did you notice something about the bad guy in this game?
No, what about him?
His name is Tennessee Vic. Now, have you noticed that all the bad guys in video games are always named Vic, and all like the heroes in the games are always named Tommy. Tommy Vercetti from, you know.
He's a great hero.
Tommy.
Somebody to look up to.
Yeah, all of the main hero characters.
And the main hero
Tommy,
from Mafia, the killer from Mafia.
Is Tommy.
Right. Gotcha.
But when they have an
You're making a great point here.
An evil bad guy, they call him Tennessee Vic.
I was just 18 when Vic asked me to join the gang. I'd been on the trail scouting a while and earned a reputation for hitting everything I shot.
Some of it's fun, like you can shoot guys' hats off,
and
you can shoot different things to have them collapse on guys.
I like the chain sort of combat stuff that you can do too. The more stuff that you shoot, your score keeps going up, so you try to
pretty much shoot everything in the game and it will react to
I thought that was pretty cool.
Which is neat.
Getting back to the sound thing, though, I mean, I think it was ridiculous. The Xbox is a 5.1 surround sound system,
correct?
And they're pumping audio to the surrounds, but it's the same audio for all of the speakers.
Wasn't a lot of 3D.
No positioning at all.
They
give you on-screen indicators and stuff, so you'll point and try to shoot in that direction, but you know, they screwed up big time with where they're putting their voices and stuff like that.
If you ever have the displeasure of renting this game or something,
yes,
you're going to want to check this out and remember my words, because you're going to laugh your ass off.
Yeah.
When you get an Xbox Live, it's so slow, the frame rate, that even the menu screens, you can't click down.
It's the lag. I was actually really glad that it was happening with you, because I thought there might have been something wrong with
your
my Xbox.
When you actually get online and play the multiplayer, the frame rate online
it's actually all right.
Is actually quicker than when you play the single-player game.
What's even funnier, though, when you get into the game and you're actually playing the game online, is remember the audio problems we had in the single player? Now you have 8 other people, or if you
They got the one footstep sound.
Yeah, but it's coming from everywhere.
And it's literally...
everybody's just clopping all over. It sounds like everybody's on a horse.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it 6.5 out of 10.
I'm giving it a 6.
On the positive side, the game features some pretty cool Western-themed music. We like the crazy characters in the game, especially Tennessee Vic. But the best part of all is that it's just great to see a game set in the Wild West.
On the negative side, there's some speed issues overall. I mean, online you got some lag on the menu screens. The single-player game isn't that great. The sound design implementation in this game is absolutely ridiculous. And for an Xbox game, the graphics are just not that well done.
All right, partner, let's skedaddle out of the Wild West now and talk about a boxing game. This is Fight Night from Electronic Arts. We looked at it on the PlayStation 2, but it's also available for the Xbox. What do you think of this one?
Who says skedaddle?
Well, I just did.
I'm sorry.
I don't normally.
I'm embarrassed. I apologize.
I thought it worked with the theme. Okay, let's forget about the Wild West.
They use what they call total punch control.
Right.
I like the idea where they were going with this, where you have the analog stick as one of your arms.
Yes.
But what they did is they put both arms on the analog stick. And so in order to throw...
On one stick, on the right thumbstick.
Right. And you have to, like, throw diagonals to do straight punches. And then you have to do diagonals and then up to throw uppercuts. And then straight across for hooks, and it's just, it gets very difficult. You don't know what you're doing.
We've all done these diagonals and rotational types of moves before, but they've been on the left stick,
Right.
and they've been for 2D fighters like the Street Fighter series. So all of those movements are very familiar to us, but as gamers, we're not used to doing them with our right thumb. We're used to tapping on buttons.
And not on an analog stick.
You can't go in with all of the sort of preconceived ideas of the previous boxing games that you've played before. This is totally new, so you have to train. You have to take your player into the career mode, go to the heavy bag, go to the punching
Which are
mix.
very hard, by the way.
They're all very difficult.
Very
you spar, but you'll learn how to play the game.
The thing that annoyed me the most about the controls was the actual fighter control the left stick. The way they did
I
it
was gonna say this too,
is if you push up on the analog stick, your boxer moves this way.
Right.
If you push down, he moves this way. It makes no sense
It was
whatsoever.
very difficult. Not only does it feature the most realistic looking boxers and animations and stuff, and you see the faces all get distorted and bloodied, but you can see the animations and everything as well. Like when the fighters get knocked down, it's just insane. It looks deadly.
But it goes too far on the knockdowns.
I like it.
I mean,
they do get a little jelly.
It goes too much.
They do get
too
a little
much.
too jelly.
I'll tell you the best part though is when the guy is falling down, you can still punch him, and that to me it got another point. When you get knocked down, most boxing games in the past, you try to push the button as fast as you can.
This was very clever.
This is awesome because the referee who's counting you out is out of focus. So you see 3 of them, and what you have to do is with the analog sticks, you have to fix them and put them back before the count gets to 10.
And
I love that.
And the more that you get knocked down, the more difficult it is to try to get everybody sort of lined up in there.
Answer me a question.
Yeah.
When did boxing go hip-hop? Did I miss that?
2004.
Is that
with
what
the
happened?
release of Fight Night.
They use all this like really hardcore rap music.
Yeah.
But because they can't swear in the game, every other word
is cut out.
is cut out and bleep. So you get, this is what you hear. And I killed and I got it, and then I took his.
It sounds like a conversation with you.
I thought the CD was skipping.
One of my favorite things too is that you can play online on the PlayStation 2. So once you start to get good, you can go on and challenge other people.
Do we even need to mention at this point that the Xbox version, and this being an EA game, doesn't support Xbox Live?
I had a lot of fun with this game. It's definitely the coolest boxing game I've ever seen. 8.5.
I'm giving it an 8.
On the positive side, the visuals in Fight Night are absolutely fantastic. It features an incredibly deep and revolutionary control schematic, and on the PlayStation 2 at least, you can play it online.
On the negative side, Xbox owners are once again going to be disappointed. No Xbox Live. The controls take some getting used to, especially the left analog stick. And lastly, what up with the hip-hop in my boxing, G?
All right, you guys, you think there was some fighting in Fight Night? What do we come back with WarioWare Mega Party Games after the break?
Hey, I'm talking about Pitfall, the Lost Expedition for the Game Boy Advance. Now, let me tell you something. The Pitfall on the newer platforms has been unbelievable. This one's no exception. You know, the graphics, it takes place in a jungle, so there's a lot of, like, greenery and foliage. It's really well done graphics. You know, you get to, like, throw rocks and stuff, and you swing from vines, you climb up vines and do all that favorite Pitfall Harry stuff that you're so used to. Now, you have the enemies in there as well. You know, you got your eels and your scorpions and your bats, like all Pitfall games. And, of course, the snappy alligators, which you always got to be careful of in Pitfall Harry. Don't like those alligators. And what I loved about the game is it's completely unlimited lives. So you don't have to worry about, oh no, can I make this jump and I only have 1 life left? They give you unlimited lives, so you can play forever, which is always nice in a 2D game like this. So I really like this game a lot. You know, I like the style of the new character. I love the sound effects, the music, the platform, big character on screen. I like it a lot. I'm giving it an 8.5.
All right, we're back, and we're moving far away from the Wild West now. We're going to talk about a crazy new game from Nintendo. This is called WarioWare Inc. Mega Party Games for the GameCube.
Is that what Wario, is that like his underpants? WarioWare?
No, he's like
underwear?
the software king now. So it's WarioWare, like Wario software.
I got to be honest with you. I got some issues.
I got to be honest with you, I'm not surprised.
There's over 200. Count them.
200 little mini games.
Little mini games. But all of the mini games last for, and I counted it, I timed it on my watch, 3 seconds each. And it usually normally consists of only one button press.
Okay.
These are the smallest, cheesiest, most simple games.
Right.
I don't care if they packaged 1,000 of them in here. They still all suck.
I think you missed the whole idea here.
Explain to me the point.
The
Yes.
game
Yes.
is the collection of mini games. You're playing
Right.
a bigger master game over top of all of these little mini games.
Yes.
It's not the parts that make this game interesting. It's all of it put together into one whole thing.
So you pile a bunch of crap on top of each other, and you get a big mound of
See,
crap.
that's the wrong way to look at things
Oh.
here. The games on their own, they aren't that cool.
They're ugly.
They're ugly. They're old, graphic style. They're taken
Why
right out
do they
of.
last 3 seconds?
That's part of the game.
Why not 7 seconds?
Well, they started around
3 seconds?
They started around 5, and they actually get continually faster.
Quicker and quicker and
And-
quicker
and
until you
it's-
can't play it anymore.
Well, it's an amazing challenge. It's really cool.
Amazing challenge. Pressing one button is an amazing challenge.
Well, because
for
it's
you.
all about timing, and it's all about what's coming up next and what you got to do. I mean, it's really very innovative. I was really blown
Innovative?
away.
This whole game
Yes.
is on the GBA.
It's exactly the same game.
So why would I buy it on the GameCube?
Well, what they've done is they've made it more of a party game now. You've got multiplayer games in there, so you can play with other people.
So you can play all these great, crappy 3-second games and ruin your friends' good times as well.
I'm telling you, this is a lot of fun. If you open your mind, and I'll keep
I've
slapping
opened
this
my
thing.
mind.
Open your mind to
How-
a new game design. You're going to
new
enjoy
game
this.
design?
Absolutely.
I mean, these are game designs that go back 20, 30
I know,
years.
but incorporating them all into one game experience is really amazing.
But I love Mario Party. I love these style of games. I just didn't particularly care for this one at all.
I mean,
Count
that's
this.
the
Watch,
deal.
watch this. Watch it.
Okay, game's
Done.
over.
Oh, game's over. See, I mean,
I think it's awesome, though, man.
Yeah.
What I also like about this game is they've thrown in a lot of old Nintendo references. So you have like the old 2D scrolling Mario games and Metroid and F-Zero's in there. I thought you'd really like the nose-picking game where you have to get the finger right up the nose. I mean, that's said Tommy Tallarico to me all the way. No? Didn't like that one?
Didn't like virtual nose picking.
I'm giving WarioWare Inc. Mega Party Games 8.5 out of 10.
4.5.
Oy. Oh, man. On the positive side, there are 200 mini games to play in this one. If you open your mind, the multiplayer games are very fun. And it's great to see all of those classic Nintendo game references throughout this thing.
On the negative side, all of the games last for approximately 3 seconds. I didn't find any of them particularly challenging or fun at all. And for me, I much prefer some of the other Mario Party games over this one.
All right, so we couldn't agree on that one, but maybe we'll agree on this next thing for hardware. We have the HipGear 2.4 gigahertz wireless controller for the Xbox.
The good thing about the 2.4 gigahertz, though,
Yeah.
there's less interference
Yes.
as well.
Right.
So, you know, like
So when your mom's calling you to tell you to stop playing video games,
on the 900 megahertz phone,
right, it won't interfere.
it won't interfere with
That's
that.
right. It felt great in my hand. It looks sweet.
It's a little wider than the Controller S. And the other thing
It's a
that
little heavier because it has batteries in it.
little
so-
heavier. It takes 4 AA batteries. The joysticks are a little too loose. So when you're playing like a Rainbow Six or something and you're zooming in on people, you're not used to it. So it takes a little getting used to.
Also impressed to see that it came with Rumble. Now, you can use the HipGear controller with Xbox Live, but you have to have your Xbox Live communicator plugged into the base station,
At
which
the
is right
Xbox.
by your Xbox. So if you want to be far away from your Xbox and be on Xbox
Kind of defeats
Live,
the purpose.
Yeah.
It's like, hi,
kinda
I'm wireless.
defeats the purpose.
I'm playing my Xbox.
That's right. So what are you going to do? You going to recommend this guy or what?
I am.
Yeah, me too. This is a good controller, definitely close to Nintendo's Wavebird in the wireless department.
On the positive side, it has a really cool, slick, sleek, cutting-edge, high-tech design. How's that for buzzwords? It runs off a 2.4 gigahertz radio frequency, so you won't get a lot of interference. And it feels a lot like the Controller S, which we love.
On the negative side, the controller's a little bit heavier than the Controller S because it has batteries in it. We found the thumbsticks a little bit too loose. And if you want to play Xbox Live, you have to sit right next to your Xbox, which kind of defeats the purpose of why you bought the wireless controller. Stick around. After the break, it's Colin McRae Rally 4 versus Rallisport Challenge 2.
I couldn't tell the difference. Maybe you can help me out.
That's what we'll talk about right after the break. Seriously. Hey, I'm here at EB Games, and I found a very cool classic buried treasure for the Game Boy Color. This is Ballistic, and it is a puzzle game, and I know that there's lots and lots of puzzle games out there, but most of them take this sort of Tetris formula. This one's different than that. This one actually has this circular kind of ball-shaped thing going on. You've got all of these different little balls, that's why it's called Ballistic, and they have little shapes and things inside of the ball, so you might have like a little star or a musical note or some other little shapes that you have to line up. And basically what you do, like Bust a Move, you move a little targeting cursor around your circle as everything is lining up, and you shoot out one of these balls and you try to connect the shapes and then make them disappear. It's very cool. You can do all kinds of chain reactions. There's actually a puzzle mode in here. Then you have a time attack mode where you have a number on the clock and you've got to take care of all the balls before the clock winds down. You know, basic puzzle game stuff. This is a lot of fun though, definitely hard to put down, definitely a buried treasure. Go check it out. It's Ballistic for the Game Boy Color. Hey, welcome to Versus. Today we are going to be talking about two rally games. We've got Rallisport Challenge 2 from Microsoft for the Xbox versus Colin McRae Rally 4 from Codemasters for the Xbox. What did you think of the visuals for these two rally racing games?
Well, Colin? Colin?
Yes.
Oh, Colin's funnier.
I know, it is funnier.
They're both very good.
They're both beautiful.
But Colin just goes the extra mile. The dirt on the back of the car, the reflection of the sun off the ice. The only thing I didn't like in Colin was the 2D
people.
The first game that does 3D people, I'm gonna like flip
that's
out.
The thing.
I'm gonna freak out.
I think you're right in the car detail in Colin McRae Rally 4. I think they've done a very nice job of creating these very realistic looking vehicles. The interior environments of the cars are incredible. Love the damage modeling on the Colin McRae game. But Rallisport Challenge...
More damage on Rallisport, I noticed, to the car.
More damage, a little more
The door
arcade.
Opens when you're hitting stuff.
But the environments are much nicer in Rallisport Challenge 2. They're very cool 3D
More
worlds.
cartoony cars, though, I felt.
Yes, well, it's a little unrealistic.
Too colorful or unrealistic looking.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. I think that, though, the damage modeling and the environments and all of that stuff adds so much weight and value to the look of the game.
I'm going to have to agree with you. I'd give the little edge to Rallisport in the detail stuff.
Now, some of the physics and some of the visuals of the cars flipping and flying and all that stuff, they're a little more dramatic in Rallisport Challenge 2.
Right.
A little more realistic in Colin McRae Rally 4.
Who wants realism?
Well, some people might want more realism in the look of their game. Let's talk about the audio quality for these two titles now.
In Colin, they have different engine loops for different cars,
They all
which I
sound
thought
different.
were really, really nice. Some of them are annoying, but that's just rally cars. There's no getting around that.
Yes.
But when you do the different camera angles, you hear the different audio, and I thought that was really cool. Even as far as when you go in the car, you can literally hear the rocks pinging up against the car and in the floorboards.
And 6 right into 6 left over crest, tightens to 3.
Rallisport has a lot of that stuff too, but I think that the audio in Colin, like just the audio effects, unbelievable.
Now, they do have that one annoying guy who keeps
co-driver.
telling you, well, I don't like him.
Well, he's important. He's a big part of
He's
it.
annoying. Take a left.
They have so
left.
many
No,
they have so many different, you know, corners and bends and slippery roads and stuff they have to deal with. They need that guy.
Yeah, they put the big arrow on, though, before you take a corner, so you know what kind of corner it's going to be.
It's always freaky. But what I don't understand about these co-drivers, especially in Colin McRae 4, why doesn't he get really mad when you're bashing the hell out of your car?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Both of the games have this sort of techno sort of vibe going on throughout the music and stuff like that.
Well, Colin doesn't have music throughout a lot of the races.
But Rallisport
and
does.
Rallisport does. And, you know, it really is the overall in these games is that Rallisport is more of the action arcade, fun game, and Colin is more of the realistic game.
It definitely is more realistic. I would have to say, though, that because of that, I enjoyed the audio qualities of Colin McRae a little bit more.
Me too.
Now, in terms of gameplay, this one's interesting. They are two different rally games. How
Well-
do you think they stacked up against each other?
To me, I preferred Rallisport, and I'll tell you why, because it's more fun to play.
And you can race with other
And you can
people.
race with other people. Go figure.
know.
A racing game where you can actually race others. Come on, put in some racing in there.
I
Give
know.
me some racing,
the only
please.
multiplayer racing yet in Colin McRae 4 is the
Split screen or the link. Right?
Yes, and you're only racing like a virtual impression of your opponent. Whereas in Rallisport, you have
Xbox
Xbox
Live.
I like the controls better in Colin McRae 4.
They're more realistic.
They are more realistic, but you also feel like you have more traction to the ground. You know, you feel like you're actually in control and in command of these vehicles as they're going around. Rallisport, it does feel a little too loose, and you can lose control of your vehicle too quickly, and it flips
Right.
and flies a little bit too much. So I would have to say Rallisport Challenge wins it for me in the gameplay department.
Gameplay for me as well.
Okay, so overall then,
Overall, me personally, I preferred Rallisport Challenge slightly over Colin McRae, but I would say to people out there, if you're more into like the total realism aspect,
Yes.
then you're probably going to want to go with Colin.
both games are great, and if you're a big fan of rally racing, you're probably going to want to pick them both up. Colin McRae is a little bit cheaper than Rallisport Challenge 2, and it delivers a different experience, and they're both really good games, but if I had to pick one, Rallisport Challenge 2. All right, so what are you going to score Rallisport Challenge 2?
I'm giving Rallisport an 8.
9.5 for me. I absolutely love this game. What are you going to give Colin McRae Rally 4?
7.5.
8.5 from me. This one was a little bit tougher than normal because both games are so good, but if we had to choose one, it would be Rallisport Challenge 2. Today on the show, we took a look at Dead Man's Hand for the Xbox. Tommy and I enjoyed the Wild West theme of this game, but the online play needed some serious work. On the PlayStation 2, we looked at Fight Night 2004. This game features amazing graphics and revolutionary controls, but once again, EA forgot to put in Xbox Live compatibility. For the GameCube, we reviewed WarioWare Mega Party games. This one had some very original gameplay featuring snippets of 200 different mini-games. I really enjoyed this one, but Tommy thought it was just annoying. In Versus, we looked at Rallisport Challenge 2 from Microsoft for the Xbox. This is an arcade-style rally racing game with beautiful visuals and terrific Xbox Live play. We looked at that one against Colin McRae Rally 4, also for the Xbox. This one was more of a simulation game featuring excellent graphics and realistic physics, but in the end, Tommy and I had more fun playing Rallisport Challenge 2. In hardware, we looked at Hipgear's 2.4 gigahertz wireless controller for the Xbox. This is a great controller that feels just like the Controller S, but you still have to plug the communicator into the base if you want to talk in Xbox Live. On the Game Boy Advance, Tommy reviewed Pitfall: The Lost Expedition. And Tommy loved the cartoony visuals and the unlimited lives of this one. Well, I hope you guys had fun, and I hope you'll all enjoy WarioWare as much as Tommy did.
I'm sure they will.
See you next time.